Have you ever wondered why some people move forward rapidly while others remain stuck in the same place for years? Why do some reach incredible heights while others, possessing the same abilities, stay in their comfort zone? The secret isn't in talent, not in luck, and not even in connections. The secret lies in the emotions we carry inside ourselves every day. Today, I'm going to tell you about 5 killer emotions that silently steal your potential and prevent you from becoming who you truly can be. I guarantee, after this video, you'll look at your life with completely different eyes. This isn't just another motivational talk. This is real knowledge based on psychology and confirmed by stories of people who managed to break free from emotional traps. Ready to learn the truth? Then watch until the end, because I've saved the most dangerous emotion for last. Emotion 1, fear of failure. Let's start with the most obvious but no less destructive emotion, the fear of failure. This fear sits deep in our subconscious and whispers to us, what if it doesn't work out? What will people think? What if I waste my time? Let me tell you a story. Stephen King, one of the best-selling writers in the world, received rejection from publishers for his first novel, Carrie, 30 times. 30 times he was told no. He was so disappointed that he threw the manuscript in the trash. His wife retrieved the manuscript from the garbage and convinced him to try one more time. Today, Stephen King has sold over 350 million copies of his books. Can you imagine what would have happened if he had given up on the 30th attempt? Fear of failure paralyzes. It makes us avoid risks, stay in the safe zone, settle for less. We tell ourselves, better not to try at all than to try and fail. But here's the paradox. Every successful person on the planet has failed. The difference is that they didn't let fear stop them. They understood a simple truth. Failure isn't the end of the road, it's just feedback. Thomas Edison failed 10,000 times before he invented the light bulb. When asked what it was like to fail so many times, he replied, I didn't fail. I just found 10,000 ways that don't work. See the difference in perception? Fear of failure exists only in our heads. In reality, there's only experience, positive or instructive. Emotion 2, envy. Now let's talk about an emotion that many are ashamed to admit, but everyone has, envy. In the era of social media, envy has become a real epidemic. We open Instagram and see the perfect lives of other people, their travels, their cars, their successes, and something tightens inside. We start comparing ourselves to them and feel inadequate. Here's the problem. Envy is an emotion directed in the wrong direction. Instead of motivating us, it drains our energy. We spend time monitoring others' successes instead of creating our own. I know an entrepreneur who spent 3 years of his life trying to copy his friend's business. He envied his success and thought, if he did it, I can too. But he didn't account for one thing. His friend was passionately enthusiastic about his work, while he himself was doing it only out of envy. The result? 3 years of wasted time, burnout, and disappointment. Only when he stopped looking at others and asked himself, what do I want myself? Did his life begin to change? Envy blinds us. It makes us want someone else's life instead of building our own. It turns us into a copy of a copy, not an original. But there's another side. A healthy form of envy can become inspiration. When you see someone's success and think, wow, this is possible. That means I can achieve this too. This is no longer destructive envy. This is motivation. The key is to transform envy from, why does he have it and I don't? To, how can I create something similar or even better for myself? Emotion 3, pride. Now let's talk about a more subtle emotion, pride. Many confuse pride with self-confidence, but these are completely different things. Pride says, I know everything. I don't need help. I'm better than others. Self-confidence says, I've learned a lot. but there's always something to learn. I'm open to growth. Pride is an emotion that closes the doors of opportunity. When we think we've already reached the top, we stop growing, we stop learning, we stop developing. The story of Kodak is a perfect example of pride in business. In 1975, a Kodak engineer invented the first digital camera. But the company's management rejected this invention, believing that film photography would live forever. They were market leaders and thought they knew better. The result? In 2012, Kodak went bankrupt. The company that once dominated the photo industry disappeared because pride didn't allow them to see the future. The same thing happens with people. I've seen talented professionals who got stuck at one career level because they refused to learn new things. I've been in this profession for 30 years. I don't need your new method, they said, and they watched as younger colleagues overtook them because they were open to the new. Pride creates an illusion of greatness, but in reality, it's a sign of weakness. A strong person can admit that they don't know something. A strong person can ask for help. A strong person understands that growth is an endless process. Bruce Lee, the legendary martial artist, said, "Be like water." What did he mean? Water is flexible. It adapts. It takes any shape. Pride makes us rigid and fragile. Every time you think, "I know everything," or "I don't need help," stop. This is pride stealing your ability to grow. The most successful people in the world are eternal students. Emotion 4, resentment. Moving on to an emotion that eats us from the inside. Resentment. Resentment is a slow-acting poison. It doesn't kill immediately, but slowly corrodes your soul, your health, your future. Someone betrayed you. Someone didn't appreciate your efforts. Someone said something hurtful, and you hold it inside. 1 year, 2, 5 years, 10 years. You constantly replay the situation in your head, reliving the pain again and again. But here's what's important to understand. While you hold on to resentment, you remain tied to the past. You spend the energy of the present on experiencing the past, and you have no strength left for the future. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison. 27 years of his life were stolen by an unjust system. When he was released, everyone expected revenge, but he chose forgiveness. He said, "When I left prison, I knew if I don't leave bitterness and hatred behind, I'll still be in prison." This man changed an entire country because he didn't let resentment control his life. Resentment is an emotional prison we put ourselves in. The key to this prison is always with us. It's forgiveness, not for the person who hurt you, but for yourself. When you forgive, you're not saying what you did is okay. You're saying, "I will no longer let this control my life." I know a person who didn't speak to his brother for 15 years because of some old conflict. 15 years. When I asked him what the conflict was about, he couldn't even remember exactly. Resentment ate away the details but remained itself. He missed 15 years of a relationship with a close person because of an emotion that wasn't worth even a day. Don't repeat this mistake. Resentment doesn't punish the person who hurt you. It only punishes you. Let it go. Free yourself. Emotion 5, complacency. And finally, the most insidious emotion of all, complacency. This is the feeling of, "I've achieved enough. What I have is enough for me. Why strain further?" Complacency is the death of ambition. It's a state where you stop growing because you've decided you're already good enough. In nature, there's a simple law. Everything that doesn't grow dies. A tree that stopped growing begins to rot. A river that stopped flowing turns into a swamp. The same with people. Mike Tyson was an undefeated world boxing champion, but at some point he decided he had reached the top. He stopped training as hard. He began enjoying fame and money. And what happened? He was beaten. Moreover, he was beaten by a boxer whom no one considered a serious opponent. Tyson entered the ring complacently and left it defeated. One emotion cost him the championship belt. Complacency lulls us. It whispers, "Relax, you're doing great, you've already done enough." And we relax. We stop learning, we stop striving, we stop dreaming, and the world around us doesn't stop. It keeps moving, and people who were behind you yesterday are overtaking you today. Look at Nokia. In 2007, it was the largest phone manufacturing company in the world. They controlled 40% of the market. It seemed their position was unshakable, but complacency blinded them. When Apple released the iPhone, Nokia's management ridiculed it. "It's just a toy," they said. They were so confident that they didn't see the revolution. 5 years later, Nokia almost disappeared from the market. Microsoft bought its remnants for pennies. The giant fell because it couldn't see the need for change. Complacency tells us the fight is over. But the truth is, the fight never ends. Not in the sense of suffering, but in the sense of growth. Life is constant forward movement. The greatest athletes continue training even after they've won everything. The greatest writers continue writing even after bestsellers. The greatest business people continue looking for new opportunities even after billions. Why? Because they understand. Complacency is the beginning of the end. Imagine your life is a bicycle. As long as you pedal, you move forward and maintain balance. But as soon as you stop, you fall. Complacency is stopping the pedals. How to fight these emotions? You might ask, okay, I understand. These emotions are dangerous, but what should I do? The first step is awareness. You can't change what you don't notice. Start tracking your emotions. When you feel fear, envy, pride, resentment, or complacency, stop and acknowledge it. Simply tell yourself, "I feel fear," or "I'm envious right now." It sounds simple, but this is an incredibly powerful tool. Awareness of an emotion already half strips it of its power over you. The second step is replacement. Every destructive emotion can be replaced with a constructive one. Fear of failure, with curiosity about the result. Envy, with inspiration. Pride, with humility and openness. Resentment, with forgiveness. Complacency, with the desire for growth. This requires practice. You won't change your emotional patterns in one day, but each time you make the right choice, you become a little stronger. The third step is action. Emotions lose their power when you act contrary to them. Feel fear before a new project? Take the first step despite the fear. Feel envy toward a colleague's success? Congratulate them sincerely. Action transforms emotions. Every time you act correctly despite wrong emotions, you reprogram your brain. Transformation stories. Let me share with you a few inspiring stories of people who overcame these emotions. J.K. Rowling, author of Harry Potter, was a divorced single mother living on social welfare. She had many reasons for resentment toward life, for fear of failure, for complacency after her first modest success. But she kept writing. Her manuscript was rejected by 12 publishers. 12 times she was told no, but she didn't give up. Today, she's one of the richest women in Britain, and her books have changed the lives of millions of people. Or take Arnold Schwarzenegger. He came to America from Austria with almost no money, with a strong accent that everyone mocked. He had many reasons to envy local actors who had it easier. But instead of envy, he used their success as inspiration. Instead of pride in his bodybuilding titles, he humbly learned acting. And he became one of the most recognizable actors in the world. These people weren't special. They didn't have superpowers. They had a choice in to let emotions control them or to control emotions themselves. They chose the latter, and you can make the same choice. Right now, this very second. Your future starts today. Here's what I want you to understand. Your life in a year will be the result of the emotions you choose today. If you continue living in fear, envy, pride, resentment, and complacency, in a year, you'll be in the same place you are now. or even worse. But if you start transforming these emotions, if you replace fear with courage, envy with inspiration, pride with humility, resentment with forgiveness, complacency with the desire for growth, your life will change dramatically. Not tomorrow, not someday, today, right now. Every great story begins with a decision, with a moment when a person says, "Enough, I will no longer let these emotions control me." Maybe today is that day for you. Maybe this video is the very sign you've been waiting for. Remember, you are not your emotions. You are the one who observes them. You are the one who makes the choice. And every choice you make shapes your life. So what life are you choosing? We've just examined 5 emotions that steal your potential every day. Fear of failure, envy, pride, resentment, and complacency. These are the enemies of your growth. But now you know about them. And knowledge is power. The power to change your life. If this video opened your eyes, if you recognize yourself in at least one of these emotions, hit that like button. It will show me that you're ready for change. And if we reach 5,000 likes on this video, I'll film a continuation where I'll tell you about specific techniques for working with each of these emotions. Daily practices that will transform your life. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss new videos about personal growth. Write in the comments which emotion is hardest for you to deal with. Let's support each other on this journey. Remember, your future isn't determined by the past. It's created by the choices you make today. Thank you for your attention. See you in the next video. And until then, go and become the best version of yourself.